then I cast, or I make sure that I'm casting in here. But if you have it set up, I'm trying to think of what could possibly be doing that. Okay, you've got the on click. Good. So I suppose you could do load. Does the click go in the actor? No, the on click is in the widget blueprint specifically. And what you'll want to do is cast to the actor that has your level load, or if you're doing streaming levels, you can do it straight from here. Let's see. Is there anything in the? I don't even know what that. I'm not even going to mess with that. Yeah, all of the on-clicked information should be in your widget blueprint. Now you can, like we did here, you can cast to an object and get functions from it, but you want to make sure the actual click event itself is in the UMG. Ow, ow. Let's see. Can you link me to the tutorial? I'll be more than happy to pull it up and see what we can figure out, see what might be going on. Let's get out of wireframe mode. I can't see. Let's see. Use the event in details. Yeah. So in the NPC, like in the widget, you have your button, and if you look over here on the details pane, at the very bottom you'll have events, and you want to use the on-clicked event that's in here, and that'll create a clicked event for that button specifically. It is it's the most effective way to use the buttons, in my opinion. There are obviously other things, like you can use them for inventory system management and all kinds of stuff like that. There are tons of tutorials out there that I need to go through. Use an event tick sequence branch. What? Event tick sequence branch if pressed do once? No, don't do that. Don't do that. So in that regard, you're running that sequence over and over and over and over and over again every tick, which means you're calling it on every frame, which means you're doing a lot of unnecessary management. That's okay. Admittedly, while there are some instances where tick is very useful, I hate tick. I absolutely despise tick because people use it a lot and it ends up just massively screwing up frame rates because you're trying to do too much on tick at once. In this case, even though you're only running it once, that's a lot of unnecessary steps. I would just use the event on clicked. And what he said was in the tutorial he was using an event tick that leads into a sequence, that leads into a branch, that leads into if press do once. That's kind of like, it's kind of going around your ass to get to your elbow. To be honest, it seems like a lot of unnecessary steps that you don't need to take. Yeah, I prefer timers to ticks and just set it on a very low timer. How do I do rotations on objects? Oh, well, that's simple. I like to use rotating movement, which is a function that you put it into your object, and all of a sudden your object now has rotation. And you can change all the rotation values over here. That timelines or timers, as IRTech said, yes. Those are both valid options, and tick does work. You can do rotation with tick. I just don't personally like tick, just because it's used in almost everything, and if you're trying to put everything on tick, then it kind of just burns through things, honestly. But yeah, so the short long of the answer there is definitely event on click. Yeah, rotation on tick does screw with speed. It also, you have to worry about gimbal lock at that point. With the with the rotation component, it can contribute to consistent rotation. And yeah, um, and actually, I can show you with rotating movement exactly what you can use it for. Like, let's say you just had a simple rotator. Get your cube. So you got your rotating movement. Keep in mind, I've not touched anything over here. So we're just going to put that in level. And why aren't... Oh, it's because I'm in landscape mode. That's why. So now, if I look left, as you can see, it's already moving. Oh, they actually already implemented. Awesome. There was a recent bug, I think it's only with third person, where if you have actor ignores base rotation off, then it would still not accept rotating bases. But now it seems to be working. Whee! There's our... all kinds of... we've had so much fun stuff already made here. I'm trying to come up with more stuff to do. Okay, any other questions I can answer? I have 15 minutes, so let's fill it up. Oh, did the stream freeze? Uh-oh. Let's see. Well, I've only dropped 2.73% of my frames this entire time. Let's see. Trying to think. Possessing a pawn is going to take a bit longer than 15 minutes. Well, it might not. Let's see. I'm going to put first person pawn there. Okay, I'm going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work, because this might take a little bit more time for me to properly set up. It's definitely, it's not hard to do, but we're going to do a single line trace for objects, object type, make array. We're going to get pawn. We actually... Well, I'm gonna try to do a really basic one in 15 minutes, but that is something that I'm planning on dedicating a little bit more time to, because I've had some people ask for more possessing pawns and stuff like that, and I've got a couple of ideas on how I can do that. I just want to make sure that I do it correctly and that I give you pretty consistent information. It's possessing and like network replication and stuff like that can all be very finicky, so you want to make sure that you're doing it correctly. Okay, we're going to do a line trace for pawns, and going to possess break hit results. Pawn reference. Okay. Cast to first person character. Okay. At the end of the stream, I will do a destructible mesh just for you guys. Okay? I promise I will do a destructible mesh before the end of the stream. Even though it will probably crash and burn the editor just like it did last time, I will do it. Okay. I'm going to do that. Get player controller. There. Okay. If I did this correctly, which I don't know if I did, it should run a line trace for the object, break the hit results, and then if the character that we hit is a first-person character, possess them. I have no idea if this is going to work. Oh, has a compiler. What's the compiler? Let's find out. What? Is not player camera manager. Okay. Controller. Okay. What was the homing rockets that, oh yeah, the homing rockets did, for sure. That was definitely one of the big ones that crashed the editor for us. Okay. I have no idea if this is going to work. Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna have to set up class settings. Nope, it's class defaults. Where is replication? Replicate movement, network on client, net use owner relevancy, replicate, or yeah, that should be fine. Let's go with always relevant. It really depends on your PC setup, Elon, how many fractures is too many, because pretty much what it's doing is pulling all of that information together and drawing from it, and that becomes from one object to 1,000 smaller objects. So yeah, that could be a bit crazy. And yes, Akira Passion, it was Zuriel who posted the save load, so he is definitely the one to thank for all that information. Oh, I have no idea if I'm doing this correctly at all. And okay, just so we can test this, realizing that it's probably going to make this really ugly, let's get a cube. Okay, what button did I use for that? I used G. Okay, so if we press G, if I did this correctly, it should, quote unquote, possess that character. Oh! Haha! Okay, so, bloop. As you can see, target him, we switch. Possessing pawns. So, the main thing is making sure that your player controller can possess the pawn. And then it's just a matter of using the possess and unpossess nodes properly. I plan on doing a little bit more detailed, because one of the things I know a lot of people like is things like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that, where you can pop into a a car from being a person and then possess the car, and the car has different movement components. And that's just a matter of possessing an